Hello, how you guys doing? You guys doing good? We're just gonna have chill vibes today. We're gonna do a little bit of art. So I need to get a little art done, and it would make me feel good. Oh, you're stuck in here, Abby. Oh God, you're stuck in here. Love of my life? I'm stuck. Yes, come in. Can you get her? I'm sorry, these cables are everywhere. Thank you, my love. I believe so. She got stuck. Let me go ahead and tweet this out. Oh God, that's just like a seizure thing. There we go. That's a good gif. I gotta sneeze. All right, there we go. And then I can pull up chat. There we are. How are you guys doing? Bless you. Thank you. Yeah, so you'll notice that my lighting is worse today, and it's because I only have one outlet that I can use for the light for either the camera, for doing art, or for me when I'm streaming. I have started using that big thing, that square there, to light my streams recently, so I just kind of point that at my face, and then I've got the ring light there, and that gets it together. But yeah. Calibrated Gallows, thank you for the 41 months of support. Hi Rev, Alan Wake 2 had a banger song at the Game Awards last night. Yeah, the, what is it, the Old Gods of Asgard or whatever that band is called. That's like their in-house band thing. Why does it say PsyOps the Mind Gate conspiracy? Okay, that's just wrong. I don't know why it says that. Yeah. I think that Restream's doing something weird there. Does it say art on y'all's end on Twitch and YouTube? Okay, good. All right, so then I can switch over. So like, all right, so this is just the capture card. I can have my face on screen as well, but I'm going to be facing away from it the entire time. So I don't know if there's much of a point of that. Notification set art, okay. Like here's add existing video capture device. So like I could do like live YouTube reaction to myself doing art, which is weird. I don't think that this achieves anything, does it? Like, because I'm going to be over here doing this. Also, this keeps wanting to rotate because there's so many cables. I'm kind of like, hence why I had to call my wife over to get the stuff out. 2 revs? I don't think we need 2 revs, personally. So I'm just going to turn that off for now. But this is what we're working on. I made this the other day. I need to make another one. So we're going to make another one. I'm going to spend like half a second trying to figure out how to turn off all the overlay stuff here. Ugh. So why don't you, why don't we give that a minute? So I guess I can put chat and stuff back up on screen while I'm trying to figure this out, because this is like, I actually have no idea how to do this. We'll see if it's even a thing. So I have a Canon Rebel, T5? T6? One of the older generations, anyway. Can't tell if that's a 5 or a 6. I'm using the selfie cam to be able to get around the corner to be able to see what I'm looking at. That looks like a 6 to me. 6i. T6i. There we are. Bird looks great. Well, thank you. I will show to my bird. Crazy how a bunch of colors makes a burb. Yeah, right? Also, like, is the video quality, like, actually good today? Or am I, like, insane? Display? I don't even know how to look for that. Looks strangely higher FPS, right? Like, it looks wrong. Why is that? Okay, let me scoot around back over here. God, there's so many cables. There's cables upon cables here. I need to get a better situation because, like, let me show you what I'm dealing with. So, like, down here under my feet, yes, I've got socks on because I knew I was gonna talk about this. There's a cable. These two cables are absolutely required, and if they get bumped, everything gets screwed up. So they have to be, like, at shin level for some reason. I don't know why. Also, my mic stand wants to rotate, and I don't know why. It just does this when it feels like it wants to annoy me, I think. Stay. Okay, so here's this menu. We always try and figure this out, but I've never been able to figure it out. Maybe that'll do it. Oh yeah, GG. I was waiting for a good when like you were ready to do that, and then we can hang out for a bit while I'm doing art. Do you know how to do this camera, by the way? Also, I have that like playlist of music, so maybe we just like tell me when and no. Sadly, okay. Well, that's all right. Let's just put some musics on. We probably don't need as much music here. Why don't I just go ahead and call you on Discord? Where are you? All right. Let me know when you're done. You're good to keep streaming if you want to keep streaming on your channel while I'm doing this as well. Like, that's cool with me as well. Though I won't be able to like look at both chats at the same time. Or if you just want to like call me when ready, that works too. Output on-screen controls. Where did you see that? That's not it. Like, Andrew Richter saw it, and I'm trying to figure out where you saw it. It's gotta be here, right? Seems like there should be more settings than this. Feature guide? Screen color. Oh, I don't know what that means. That's probably like different ways of looking at the same information. What if there's one that's just like non-existent? Oh, some of these are wild. Like the red looks like a Virtual Boy. Cheaper Canon cameras can't do it. Whoops. Oh well. Well, thank you for trying. Cool. All right, let me go ahead and minimize this. And then I can bring up the image that I was working on. I found a thingamabobber for fellas. All right, which one did I paint already? It doesn't look very accurate at all. Did kind of a horrible job on the first one, but oh well. Whoopsie. All right. So I think... Jesus, that sounded loud. All right, yeah, this should work. Okay. I'm going to turn on some music until Gigi is ready.
The music you are listening to is completely electronic.
You'll have to let me know how the audio levels are. A little Jet Set Radio should be fine. Balance sounds perfect so far. Did I see there's going to be a new Jet Set? I did, yes. That's pretty exciting. Was that the Roblox oof? That should do good there. There's some more white to be done, but we don't want to do the white yet. Okay. Blue, come out. Ah! I'm for positive I heard it, man. All right, is this the right blue? It needs to be a bit dirtier. Okay, I just figured out a reason to have the face cam. It's for when I'm doing this. Like while I'm mixing stuff, right? That way you're not just looking at a dead screen while I'm doing stuff. That's like not quite right. I need more blue. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Real word and very short domains tend to cost a bunch. This song has to go somewhere at some point, right? Don't worry about it. Yeah. I mean, that's neat. Come on now. I just wanted that song to go somewhere and it just was not. Apologies. Right, because this is the Silver Gunna remixes. Pleco, thank you for the 32 months of support. That's very kind of you. I forget that that doesn't show up in the chat log thing I've got. This, okay, he does great at what he does, but I would love for these songs to go anywhere. So I'm gonna switch it up because that was just not jiving with me, man. Yes, it's gonna be a burb. Off was a great game. Yeah, this is gonna be a Blue Jay. That's like a bit much. Like it needs to be more of a lilac. And it's kind of like dirty through here. So so that's like a better color for that spot, but this needs to have a little bit more like red or something to it. I wonder if I could cut the difference with this one. So a lot of that is going to get painted over. Let's see. Nintendo, please don't copyright claim me. I remember renting this game as a kid. We never bought it, but I remember renting it and being like, this is neat. But the single player, I don't think we ever got through. Oh yeah, I was just waiting for you. Are you ready to go, Gigi? I might turn off the music for the bit that you're in here for. Cool. Hello.
Hello.
There you are.
Yeah, I think I might have to bring you up volume-wise on my end.
Yeah, here, I'm gonna talk towards my canvas real quick. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I'm live streaming right now on my side, but
Cool.
is it okay if I ask my chat if you sound okay?
Yeah, go for it.
You guys good? Does Rev sound good?
Can you hear Gigi okay?
I love clusterfucks.
Mm-hmm. That's where we're at right now. That's okay. But yeah, like we were talking the other day, or me and Fred were talking the other day about plagiarism, and you were really wanting to get in on that because like that was something that you had been talking to your chat about apparently as well. I mean, it's kind of
Yes.
hard to not after all the stuff that the H Bomber guy video kind of like it brought that discourse back up for a lot of people. Artists have to kind of deal with it on a more regular case, but do you want to just like, well, first off, who are you and where can they find you?
Hi, my name is Gigi Mars, or Gigi Marvels, depending on the social media, because identity crisis be damned. I am a Twitch streamer. I am an artist. I am a cosplayer and toy photographer. There's a lot of things I'm a part of, but I'm mostly now a art streamer on Twitch, and I am a quote unquote chinchilla on the internet.
Gotcha. And
You
then
can
your
you can find me around.
so like your Twitch channel is what again? Just Gigi Mars.
Gigi Mars.
Right, okay.
GIGI all in uppercase MARZ.
And then just like you're kind of a regular, but like I don't know. I think it would be nice to have like artists like come by and talk and that kind of thing. And I think that would be more interesting than just watching me like try and come up with something to talk about while I'm painting. I'm not good at doing an art streamer thing. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, and I'm the one. I wanted to do video games, and then I realized my niche was art on Twitch, so I became the art streamer.
I mean, yeah, whatever actually ends up working. So one of my friends' friends was a James plagiarism victim. Wow.
Mhm.
I mean, like, yeah, it kind of went everywhere from the sounds of it. But yeah, okay. So now that that's out of the way, what's your take on all this as an artist and all that?
So I'm an artist who does use references, but I try my best to change up a reference. So I use a lot. So I use Clip Studio Paint as my preferred my preferred art
Tool.
canvas.
Sure.
If it's not traditional, I use Clip Studio. And with Clip Studio Paint, they have an asset store where you can buy and or use assets, especially like 3D assets for referencing poses.
Oh, that's neat.
So I use a lot of their references.
Mhm.
And I know within the art community, references as well is usually considered taboo.
Yeah, I don't really know why, but yes.
Because you can't use a crutch.
Yeah, is it a crutch though?
Apparently, as an
Okay.
artist, you're not allowed to use crutches.
I mean, yeah, that's a whole other thing. Is like, yeah, is it a crutch to the first place?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't agree with the idea. I mean, I'm using a reference literally right now, like,
Yeah.
and like I'm pretty much just going off of exactly what the photograph is on this one because I don't know what Blue Jays look like, and I don't really. I'm not intending on selling this. This is going to be going to my parents, so like, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So to me, it feels different anyway.
Yeah, no, it is different. Using reference should never really be never feel like taboo. One that should feel a little more taboo, tracing.
Oh yeah,
Because there's
tracing's
a
bad.
difference between using a reference, especially like a pose, and changing it up just a little bit to make it your own unique take on a reference. But
Mhm.
when you're straight up tracing, like some people on Twitter like to call certain artists MS Paint artists, where you use the MS Paint and you trace over, and it just it's its own can of worms.
Okay, so that's like that's a conversation that's going on Twitter. I am not plugged into the art conversation that's going on in a contemporary sense, and I feel like there's the high art gallery conversation, which I don't really intend on being there for, and then there's artists that I could actually like see, like us, which I'm not connected to either community at all. So bringing artists on is going to be a bit of my attempt at doing that. So when they say MS Paint artists, so first off, MS Paint now has layers, which is wild.
Yeah.
But what they're talking about is someone who just boots up MS Paint, traces over something, and calls it a day, right?
Exactly. They try to get clicks or like engagement through MS Paint drawings of like this
Oh,
character has big booba, big butt, and
yeah,
it's a tracing of another person's art piece. Or
right.
like recolorers is another one as well. People who
Mm.
trace pieces and are like, I fixed your art. And my face is scrunching up saying that.
Right. No, I remember, I will be honest, I remember doing exactly that as a teenager. Someone didn't color their art, and I was like, I could do that for them. Like, here it is colored. If you need help, let me know. And they like didn't ever get back to me, and I was like, that was weird.
So I see coloring, like especially if it's a line art piece, not as egregious as like
In that case,
say
it would have been good to, I don't know, get permission or like ask if they wanted me to do that before just doing it. I was a
yes.
teenager. I was a cringe.
Weren't we all when we were teenagers?
Yes. But yeah, I'll admit to that. Yeah. And it wasn't really tracing. I literally just took their thing and then colored it and then goes, here's the original artist. So I did cite my source, but it was weird.
Yeah, like I wouldn't see that as like a quote unquote cardinal sin of like the online sphere of art. Especially when some people do there are people who do like challenges, especially larger Twitch or like Twitter artists do challenges where they draw their character as a line art and they're like, "Hey guys, color this in for me."
Sure. And that's different as well because they literally asked for it.
I think you dropped for a second.
Oh yeah, because it got real quiet. Yeah, no, they're literally asking for. Oh, I bet you Discord's not going to pick me up half the time when I'm talking away from the mic. That's a little weird.
Discord, it's a functioning application.
Well, they just updated it, so it's worse. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm probably very quiet. I apologize.
Oh, it's quite all right.
But yeah, okay, so that's a thing that people are talking about. Then is the idea of just like tracing. Okay, we're at that point still.
Yeah, tracing, plagiarizing though, one of the biggest art plagiarists is like Butch Hartman.
Oh yeah. And
He
who's that pink person that people were talking about? The NFT artist?
oh Pink Cat. Yeah, she as well is a serial plagiarist. A person who will literally Pink Cat, her whole MO was like grabbing smaller creators' little comics and then some were even larger and just grabbing panels and then just tracing over her own character in those comics and just coloring them pink.
Oh.
Um
Oh,
uh,
okay.
she got lambasted on the internet, especially during the NFT situation.
Right.
But I think she's still in a sense going strong because she has a really strong Instagram
Mm,
community.
right. That's unfortunate.
Somebody somebody in your chat just said it's a Blue Jay sin, not a Cardinal sin.
Good. Chat
I'm
ends
sorry,
up
I'm
being
reading your
funnier
chat
than
and
me.
I'm trying to interact with my chat.
You're good. It's kind of hard to read two chats at the same time, which is why I'm not. I'm sorry, other chat.
It's okay. Most of the other chat is in your chat, so it's fine.
Okay.
Again, we have a lot of crossover. I'd like to say the Venn diagram becomes a circle at some point when it comes to my chat being in the spheres of you, Fred, Mike, etc.
Sure.
Um, so I don't really mind.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I have a lot to say about like tracing, at least like using reference. My favorite thing is when I have people in my chat and we're talking about automobiles, cars, people wanting to draw cars but they're not good at drawing cars.
Yeah. Cars are
I
weird
have
looking.
cars are weird looking. um I have openly stated, save your time, save your effort, trace that car.
Yeah,
um
unless if the point is like, yeah, I'm kind of alright with that as well. You know, like it doesn't really matter. And like chairs are another thing. Like if you
yeah,
just are trying to do background art, like, but also like take your own picture of a car or something, then you don't have to worry about it as well.
exactly. Or use stock images that are just, something you can grab. Like
Mm.
I would rather take a picture of a car,
Yeah.
like the angles that you need for a piece. But I
I mean,
know
that's like the
people
one
just,
time I'm 100% okay with tracing is when like you took a picture,
yeah,
you know, because it's your own thing. No one's gonna get offended by that. I think that tracing in general is bad for, you know, your continued success as an artist. I think you should probably not, you know.
yeah.
Um,
I had a conversation yesterday about the art stagnation and art regression. When people start regressing in their art styles, or they stagnate and stay with the same art style for the rest of their life and not change in any way, shape, or form.
is that considered a
Um,
bad thing?
Stagnation isn't a bad thing unless they have for me, unless you have an ego about it. Like you think your art is hot shit. I brought up, I hate bringing up the person, um, Chris Chan.
Sure.
They think their art's amazing. They don't want to change it.
Right, and there's like style, and then there's skill in that style as well. You know, like
Yeah,
getting better at doing the same thing.
yeah.
I'm doing so bad
I brought
today.
up
My hands
within
are
my
just
own
going.
art style. I have changed rapidly within 6 months. I have an OC. I like to call them blorbos. I have this little blorbo in my head, and because of this character, I just became a lot better with my art style, and I got a lot stronger with certain things. Um, and I feel like my art has improved in its own right. Um, but at the same time, I've seen people who used to have very unique art styles start regressing because one piece of like one work in progress picture that didn't get a lot of like details and stuff all of a sudden blew up.
Right.
So they need to recreate that to keep getting those numbers because number high make the serotonin drop type of thing.
Yeah. Chasing
If that
that high is real bad for your life as well.
Yeah, it's really bad. A nice thing to get out of your mindset, especially when like you're a content creator, is not chasing the high, quote unquote.
Yeah, but also you're encouraged to by the algorithm. You
Yes,
know,
the
like
algorithm does like to reward you for big number go up.
number go up and like similar thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
Also, just
but I've
people
seen
like consistency in what they're getting, but there's also like um, come up, yeah, keep progressing. Don't just stagnate. Sure.
yeah. Um, Again, like I always like even if the style of art I'm doing currently, because I'm a character artist. I do a lot of character art. Currently right now I'm working on a little I like to call them three-paneled bullshits. It's a little tiny like vignette comic. Um my whole thing is character art. I used to be traditional. I went to college for fine arts. I wanted to be a fine artist. I wanted to be a painter. I wanted to do for the longest time I wanted to be a person who helped restore pieces at like I have the AGO, the Art Gallery of Ontario,
Hmm.
because I'm from Toronto. Uh I wanted to work for the AGO and do art restoration. So that's why I went into fine arts.
That's a cool
And
career.
then like things started changing when like I started realizing I liked doing character art, and then I wanted to be a tattoo artist, and now I just want to make comics at some point.
Yeah, that kind of sounds like my progression through
So
things as well.
my everything for me has changed.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, for me it was I did everything but art first because like I just didn't see it as a viable career path, and then you know ended up doing it anyway, and it's the most viable career path that I've had yet. So I don't know.
Yeah.
There's that.
I remember going to into my college course for fine arts, and my head of the like head of the area, in a sense the art branch area. I forget. I'm right now stumbling over words. I had a really shitty sleep, so
Oh,
my my brain's working like 3 miles like for a minute. Like it's not it's going too fast but going too slow.
I feel it. I feel it. I'm still like waking up a bit, so like no worries, no worries. Um,
Yeah, but my art head, like the head professor, was like, if you guys are expecting, a full 9 to 5 job when you get out of this class type of thing, your certificate program, marry rich. And then he kept going on with the lecture. Um,
he's not wrong.
he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. Um, or just have your expectations be nothing. I don't think that a majority artists do have to work a day job. Like that's just reality. I know it's
Yeah,
unfortunate, but you do. Um, and I think people want to go from guy who works at the grocery store to world renowned whatever instantly. And that's not how any career works, you know? You don't get to do that. You have to go through all the crap first, and then maybe you get a chance.
yeah, exactly.
And yeah, for art that is just you have to work.
Yeah. You nose to the grindstone, and it might get raw and bloody. Uh,
Yeah. Like you probably won't get a career where you work a 9 to 5 on this. In fact, that's just not how art works. I can't with my hands today.
yep.
Um,
But yeah,
what the fuck is wrong
yeah,
with
like
me?
I actually have like a like I used to have a 9 to 5. Right now I'm working from home. I'm not really needed because uh I work with a company that does renovation construction, and I'm usually the one who comes in during the last parts of a renovation. So I'm usually the one doing like flooring, baseboards, house painting,
Okay,
all that fun neat stuff. And currently, because they're in the middle of like getting like HVAC, plumbing, I am not needed. So
right.
I have more free time, and that's why I do streaming as a side gig.
Yeah,
And
that
it's
makes
not even
sense.
really a gig, it's just a hobby.
Right. Well, I mean, there's also no shame in that as well. Like people need to just like have fun doing things. I don't know why we have to monetize everything, says the guy who's monetized everything he does. Like, it's not a
Yeah.
healthy mindset. Like, but yeah, that's neat.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
In a sense, I've put art into my job. House painting, house painting, and actual painting is not the same thing. But
They're very different. Yeah, no, I remember my sign language teacher, he was deaf, and so he had to ask, do you mean painting or painting? Big hand for wall painting, little brush for, this.
yeah,
And I think that's a neat way of symbolizing those two different things. I just like sign language, man.
yeah. No, sign language is a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun, and it has a very unique worldview that I think is valuable.
Um, my brain's trying to think. I'm having such a bad. Again, I woke up and I'm like, maybe having 4 hours of sleep was a bad idea.
Oof. I mean, we can do this again some other time as well. Like, this doesn't have to be a one-off. Like,
Oh no, most definitely.
so like, if you're
I've
not
been
feeling
having
it
a
today.
fun time. I hope I'm not overbearing or I'm coming
No,
off
no,
too
no, no,
strong.
no. You're worrying too much, is what you're doing.
Haha.
Like, no, you're good. So, okay. So I guess there are people who still are even arguing about tracing on whether or not that's a good idea or not. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, there are
Okay.
people who argue that tracing, especially when you're starting out in art, is okay as long as you quote unquote cite your sources. You do like, oh, I really like this person's piece of art, so I really want to draw my characters doing the pose from this piece of art. Like some people do that, or like I know this one's kind of like a weird one, but a lot of people have been tracing AI images. And they're just like, I feel a lot better tracing AI than like an actual person's art piece, which kind of sounds redundant when AI steals from a lot of artists.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it works.
So it's like you're kind of doing probably something worse.
Yeah, instead of stealing from one artist, you're actually stealing from multiple people all at
Yeah.
once. Yeah. I mean, these are discussions that I wasn't aware that were even happening still, because it's just like, no, tracing is bad, and it honestly doesn't really help. In my opinion, I don't think that you get much from tracing someone else's work. I am 100% behind master copies, where you try and do it yourself from scratch and try and do
Yeah.
exactly what someone who you respect is. You can figure out what they did and why it works. But that's a study mechanic, That's like, I don't know, watching a football player like do his like footballing, because I'm into sports, obviously. And
Yeah, sports ball.
sports
Yeah.
ball, yes. So like watching someone like do a play, like how is his hand position, like where is his body landing when he lands.
Yeah.
Okay, draw the squad like this I don't think is a problem, though. I'm totally okay with that, because that's the prompt,
Like I'm okay when people like somebody in my who in my chat Almighty Zerg was like, I like to trace while making throwaway shit posts. I'm like, I do that too. Like if there is a shitpost meme, draw the squad or something like that,
that's kind of,
will
I
have
think,
to
expected, right? Like, that's the point.
yeah, that's kind of expected. To you gotta kind of trace the thing to draw the squad.
So that to me doesn't seem like it's a problem. I mean, you are tracing, but I'm okay with that now. Like, because you're saying from the get-go that that's what you're doing, and everyone
Yeah.
is okay with that because that's the idea of the thing. So like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like it, like again, I do that. I know a lot of artists who do that. I don't see a problem with that because again, those prompts are made to be traced.
Yeah.
Traced and almost turned into your style type of thing.
Right. Yeah,
Because again, like
and then
a lot
soy
of people.
jacks and stuff like that. If you, I mean, like that's such a commonly known meme. No one's gonna be like, "Wait a minute,
Yeah, or
you didn't make this. You traced something," and it's like, "No shit, Sherlock."
yeah, another thing, some emotes, like, like the Germa point or Fototita, like, I have a Fototita. A lot of people, like, I actually got, like, I got mine commissioned, but, like,
That
the
answer
Germa
is a bit of a
point,
sketchier area for me. I'll be honest.
that
Like,
gets into a sketchier area. I know, like, the Germa point, because you're referencing off of the photo of Germa pointing,
sure, yeah.
is is like, that's quote unquote okay.
That's more of a meme, and so that's like okay. But when the meme is that it's an emote for someone else's chat, then it's just like I don't know about that. You know?
Yeah. Like, I know, Limes talked about it with the Limes dance and how she was kinda upset people were, stealing the Limes dance a while back,
Mm.
to use as their dance emote. That was actually this was a while back. Like, I'm gonna go back, like, maybe 2 or 3 years, she brought
Right.
this up on stream. Like,
Yeah.
when I started watching, like, Mike, you, and Limes and such,
Mhm.
that she brought it up once on stream about, like, how she didn't like people stealing the Limes dance emote and making their own dance emotes from the Limes dance.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at. Is like animating emotes is a skill set in of itself, and I have no idea how to do it in a good way. I have like one, and it's a head nod because it's the easiest possible thing I could do. You know?
I have no animate. I can't animate for the life of me. My animator is one of my moderators named Bacon Cat, and
Oh yeah,
my other
Bacon Cat.
moderator, Pimp Master Stallion. Uh, they've made animated emotes for me. I've paid them in either drawing their characters or actually paying them. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing as well, is like my intro emote, like, or my intro screen, I just paid Kira to do it because I can't, and I'm not going to
yeah,
pretend like I can. And I tried to do it, and it sucked ass, so I deleted it. Um, and then I sent it to him as a reference, actually, so I wish you could see what I was trying to talk about.
oh,
Because I'm like this, but good.
well,
This,
no,
no,
I've
this
seen.
is GG Mars. I should probably put that like in the thing. I apologize, y'all.
No, it's quite all right. Actually, I should probably update that I'm talking to you as well.
Right. If you do at, and it's GGMRAZ, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rev
With,
Scare. There we go.
and then with the at sign, it'll have, you already changed it? Well, crap. Thank you.
Hey, Logie. Um,
Luigi guy is the reason that any of these things work, by the way. I'll just tell you that. Like, I don't know how to do anything. And like, I was looking at settings and stuff on Discord, and I just kept running into things, and I'm like, I didn't do that. It's like, oh, Luigi guy did. I like that. I'm glad that's here. It's like,
yeah,
uh,
Lugie's very good. Good duck. Good bean.
good
10 out of
person.
10.
Yes.
Uh,
So that's a lot of words to say. Thank you, Luigi guy. You're a champion. Thank you so much.
um, but what else was yeah,
Uh,
it was the emo when it starts getting to emotes, it starts getting into really choppy territory. Um, like I don't want to, like, I would feel really upset if I found out, like, any of my regular emotes that I made myself were like like not were traces, or like somebody an emote somebody made me was a trace that wasn't, like, like the
yeah,
Germa point.
right. Yeah, that's fine. Like, because that's an established meme that everyone's kind of aware of.
Yeah, or like the anime, there's like an emote called like Ayaya, and
Yeah,
it's like
that's
an
just like a
anime girl
common
like
one that,
smiling.
right. That one just people do now, right?
Yeah.
Is the person who made
Um
that originally cool with that?
um sorry, I missed what you said,
I
Rev.
said,
Sorry about that.
is the person who made that originally like Are they cool with that? Oh, it's from an anime. Okay,
It's
then.
from an anime.
All right.
So it's just people memeing from an anime
Okay.
and making an emote from an anime.
Gotcha. Okay. Never mind then.
Yeah, like I would feel really upset if any of my emotes just me finding out like, oh, this is actually somebody else's emote, because like I'd feel like a piece of I would feel like a piece of shit.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. And that's part of the reason that I like doing everything myself, because then the buck stops with me as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, but also like I am a man in of myself, and I can't do all of the things because I don't know how to do animated emotes. So, a majority of the animated emotes are very simple because I did them, or if they're actually well done, then I got someone else to do them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same feeling.
And then like so like references are still. I haven't like. I used to be on DeviantArt. I apologize to everyone.
No, same. I used to be on DeviantArt too. My apologies as well. I have to apologize. I was a Homestuck kid, so.
Okay, sin. But understandable.
Yeah.
So like, we're still on the like, is it okay to use references thing? Whereas I ever on cheesy art, I don't think so. I think I would have remembered that.
I remember somebody bringing up Sheezy Art, and I went. I was on DeviantArt. I did not know about Ed's World till I was like in my late teens, early 20s, and apparently Sheezy Art's something to do with Ed's World and Tomska.
Yeah, I'm like, I was around for Ed's World, but I didn't like. Are we already on low battery? You fucking kidding me? We're just gonna run that until it goes out, and I'll switch it out. Such a pain to do. But yeah. Let's see. I want gray.
But I have openly stated, because I use references a lot, especially like I'm trying to get into comic book comic book art. So I use a lot of the references within my asset store. At least with Clip Studio Paint's asset store, I try to use those for reference more than like I'm going to grab Pose from Google. I think the only other place I go is there's a Pose archive. They got kind of big because they did a whole like booba pack, and it was nothing but boobs.
Understood.
They were trending for like a week because of the booba pack.
As one does, yes, okay.
But yeah, as Shadow Wolf is saying in chat, the short answer is tracing referencing is it depends. Like
That's where we're at, like culturally at this point. Like it depends on if it's okay in a contextual sense.
Yeah, well, again, I've openly stated when it comes to like cars, trace that car.
Sure.
If it's a dynamic pose you have in your head, but you can't seem to draw it out, but you can find a picture of it, I would say referencing that, or I hate saying tracing, but tracing that so you get the idea of how the pose is constructed in your head should be allowed.
Right, but also like doing the Jacko pose is the Jacko pose. That's also a meme.
Yeah.
So like, you know, I'm kind of okay with that. Thank you for letting me know when I stop recording. But again, I wouldn't mind if someone traced a Jacko pose, because
No, I wouldn't mind if people traced Jacko pose. It's a weird pose as well. It's kind of awkward to draw.
I have absolutely no idea how you draw that off the top of my head. Like,
I could probably draw a stick figure drawing of it on my canvas right now, but I would not be able to actually like draw a Jacko
a good version of the.
reference.
It's also like your body type has to be like very specific. Like,
Yeah.
you have to be kind of skinny and long.
Yeah. Another thing with like references for me, when I use references, I try to work my character. I have very weird looking like the one OC I'm currently drawing. He is a very weird looking body shape. He's very pointy. In weird areas, especially joints. And me trying to use a actual human reference doesn't fully work, so I always have to work around the reference to actually make it look good. So like I feel like if you're referencing the photo and you're trying to work your characters around it, I don't see that as a problem.
So wait, okay,
And
hold up. Let's say I go outside and I do plein air painting. Like I look at a tree and I paint that. Is that chill, or do I have to like imagine what a tree is from scratch? Like where are we
I
at
I
conceptually?
think
Like
that's chill. I think still life is chill.
I'm just not sure if people are like on board with that or not. Like where's the line on that? Like
I think the line starts drawing in the sand when it's like um you draw a picture of a bird and then I draw the same picture of the same bird.
right. It's also like I feel like I'm transforming this by turning it into a painting rather than an image. Like it's very
Yeah.
different because that was not the intention of the artist. They were trying to capture an actual event, and I'm also trying to do that, but in a very different way.
Yeah. And I see it again more like I see it more as like you're doing a still life of a photo. I did see now I have to go into I have an old photo in my call on my Facebook. Unfortunately, I have Facebook, sadly, because like a family goes on there.
Yeah.
All my old college art book stuff is on my Facebook. I have this really nice drawing of a Sonic the Hedgehog comic cover that I drew as a still life of the comic book. And that could be, in a sense, considered tracing. Because I did a still life of the comic book, so I made sure I drew the cover
What do you
properly.
wait? What is your definition of tracing? Because like I'm confused how you could trace from there.
Okay, yeah. My definition of tracing is like you're almost doing it like like almost like word for word.
Right.
That would be plagiarism as well.
Sure.
Wow, it starts getting weird when you talk about it.
What's up? You cut out there.
Just like, oh, it starts getting weird when you start looking like when it comes to art. Like where is the black and white line of tracing and plagiarism? Because it just becomes a gray amalgamation at some point.
It's like when I do video game, like arcade is like me drawing scenes from video games. I am looking at it and treating it like a still life. Is that tracing? Like I'm trying to accurately report exactly what I'm looking at.
I almost feel like that should be considered a still life. You're doing a still life from a video game.
Right. But
Like,
like I'm confused on if that ends up being called tracing by some people. Cuz like I absolutely do that. Like that's
I think, okay, so to some Twitter artist, that would probably be considered tracing, especially if you're selling it. Or
100% I am. Yeah.
um but I personally wouldn't. I would actually still consider that to be
Yeah, I mean,
um
I'm not like putting a cutout of the thing on my canvas and tracing that. Like I'm just looking at it and then drawing it because I have eyes.
yeah,
Like,
it starts getting so weird, but I know a lot of Twitter people would start being like, no, that's tracing. And I'm like, mm,
that
even now I'm just like,
I
I
don't
don't
agree
think
with
you're right
that.
on that one.
Yeah, I don't agree with that take at all. Like, I don't think that should count as tracing.
Yeah, using it as a one-to-one reference is not tracing. My moderator Bacon Cat just stated. Bacon Cat's an artist as well. Does a lot of art on Twitter. Um, but like, yeah,
Oh, I would
using
get
one-to-one
canceled
references
so
shouldn't be.
fast.
Pardon?
I'd get canceled so fast on our Twitter. It sounds
It
like
it gets kind of it gets a little choppy. It gets really hard with art Twitter when it comes to like character art and being a character artist and Another thing that is a little rough when it comes to character art and being a character artist, people just comparing your characters to other characters unnecessarily.
Oh yeah. Hey, this
Like,
reminds me of Sonic. Are you a Sonic fan?
unfortunately,
Like that? Like kind of thing?
kinda. It's like my one friend did a circus themed like horse character. Not like My Little Pony, like an actual horse. Another thing I will tell you, if you can't draw a horse, it is okay to like trace a horse, not gonna lie.
Horses are
But
screwed up
she did
looking.
like this carnival themed horse, and one person came in um well they did this carnival themed horse, and a person came into their like DMs and went, "Oh my god, it's a horse version of Pomni from the digital circus."
Okay.
And they just like recoiled and went, "No."
Okay.
Just big recoiled, like, "Oh no, please stop."
I don't want to minimize the things you're talking about, but can I ask, what is the average age of the Twitter artist?
Um, okay, so there's two forms of Twitter artists. There is the ones that are young, early. I don't really interact with minors, so I would say early teens to to early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
I myself, I'm almost 30, and I
Sure.
usually hang out with people around my age, and
Yeah,
we all
but
see it
Twitter
as
also
when
seems like
we
a shotgun blast. Like people are gonna just show up, right?
Yeah. Again, like the character I'm drawing currently on my screen, I could send you a picture of what he looks like, but when I draw my character and I upload it onto like into other people's discords or onto Twitter, I will sometimes get a person go, "Oh my god, it's Spampton."
Oh, I see.
Like I want to the urge to kill is rising.
Right. Okay. That sounds frustrating. Um,
It's just it's a funny thing. It's just it's to counteract, I have an emote of my character as spammed.
I've seen that. Yes. Okay. So I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Can you like on Discord maybe just like share your screen for half a sec, or I could just like boot up your stream. Give me a sec.
No, here I'll just share my screen.
Okay.
That's a lot easier. I could just get to Clip Studio Paint. So this is what I'm currently working on. I have these little bug fellas.
Right. Oh yeah, I've got an ad that I gotta watch first.
Yay, ads!
You're partnered, right?
No, I'm just affiliate.
Okay.
I've only been streaming for about a year. I'm going on my affiliate anniversary in a couple days.
That's good. Okay. Well,
But
I
yeah,
mean, that's
I'm just affiliated.
okay.
So you might get a pre-roll ad.
I did, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's really solid.
Yeah. This is what I do. I do a lot of character art, and unfortunately this character has made me not want to draw anybody else fan art, so I apologize.
So, okay. How is fan art treated? Because like you have to reference the original character, right?
Yeah. So fan art. Okay.
I feel like
I gotta.
I'm from a completely
We've
different
opened up a
world
new
here.
can of worms. Let's
Yeah.
go. Fan art is usually considered like, you know, you're doing an homage to a character.
Sure.
Certain places like I'm gonna talk about like Toby Fox, Undertale.
Sure.
Toby Fox has openly stated he's like I don't mind people selling merch of their fan art, but keep it to a certain amount of units sold, because if you go over a certain amount of units, I will have to have my lawyers step in, because then now you're profiting off of something I've made, and you need to stop.
Right.
Or
Little tiny thing
Andrew
is
Hussey,
fine. Right.
Homestuck. Andrew Hussey has openly stated he does not want people to sell merchandise of Homestuck anymore.
Okay. I mean, yeah,
so like people
also
doing people
respecting the
selling fan art
artist.
of Homestuck would be considered theft in some way, shape, or form.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. So I see fan art is fine, but the moment you try to monetize fan art, that's when it gets into a very gray area.
And to be clear, we're also talking about perception rather than legality, because legally speaking, if you do Undertale fan art, you are breaking copyright law. And it is through the
Yes.
grace of him deciding not to go after you that you're okay.
Yes, exactly.
Like, and that's part of copyright law, is like they do have to defend themselves to some degree, else you don't get to keep your copyright.
Yeah, exactly. It's they have their right to their copyright, and if you breach that copyright, they have every right to actually shut you down.
Right.
It's the same with like any sort of anime company, like
Yeah.
I know a person who was trying to sell there's these things called Ita bags. They're like those bags that have the clear pocket so you can put like buttons and stuff.
Okay.
One person was trying to sell an Ita bag that looked suspiciously like a Digivice from Digimon. And the creators of Digimon shut them down immediately when they were trying to do like a GoFundMe for this bag. But they never stated it was a Digivice. They never stated this, that, or it just suspiciously looked like a Digivice.
Right.
That's how a lot of people try to get past copyright infringement. Especially people who do fashion. They usually don't say it's Pokemon. They don't say it's Yu-Gi-Oh. It suspiciously looks like it.
Right. Thinking about all the like bootleg Warhammer miniatures that I bought, and I'm kind of like, I kind of don't mind that. Like I've bought some stuff that like legitimately I'm just like, I guess, like, yeah, it's bootleg.
Yeah.
People do
I see.
third-party transformers, sure.
Yeah. I used to be a Warhammer kid myself, but I did like high fantasy Warhammer.
Oh, okay, you were doing like fantasy Warhammer rather than the 40K.
Yeah. I was Lizardmen.
Oh, okay.
I did Wood Elves, and then I switched to Lizardmen. Um Loved my little limzards. But yeah, hyper vortex. This happens a lot with Transformers and suspiciously looking Transformers.
Yeah. I think a lot of Warhammer though is also just like the original company sucks ass.
Oh yeah, no, I know Games Workshop is SHIT. Shit. Um
Yeah, they are not very kind to their fan base. And so I'm kind of okay with people just going like, "Hey, slip me a tenner and I'll print you some bits," you know?
Yeah, I see. I don't see like there's certain things with bootlegs I'm not okay with, but there's certain things, especially if it's like a big ol', to the company, I don't see a problem with that
Mm-hmm.
because but like when it comes to like this is a total different rabbit hole that I love going down. I collect Nendroids.
Sure.
Unfortunately, I collect Nendroids, and learning about the bootleg black market of Nendroids is just kind of seedy and kind of gross. But like at the same time, I'm like, it sells.
Yeah.
Anime figures in general, when it's bootlegs, they still sell.
Mm.
Toy talk. Oh no. How you go?
I'm all right with that. I mean, that makes sense as well because they're expensive, right?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Um.
got the
The,
paintbrush in my mouth.
uh, No, that's fine. They're expensive to an extent. There's ways to find them cheap. I usually find a lot of mine used or like pre-owned.
Sure.
And people get kind of like squirrely when you say they're pre-owned, and then they're like, "What do you mean by that?" I'm like, "Oh, usually it just means like somebody had the box but they never opened it. It's pre-owned."
Yeah, someone else owned it before. It's like used, but less bad of a word.
Yeah. Um. But like I don't see I don't s- s- I've kind of in my age have like realized like I don't really see a problem with bootlegs, especially like for you Warhammer. I don't see a problem with bootleg Warhammer minis.
Yeah, I
Um
mean, it depends. Like, and I know GW doesn't like it, but like, they're also charging like $30 for one dude. It's
Yeah,
one
it's a little
fucking dude. Like
Yeah, it's a
Angron, I
little
want to say is like 100, and it's like, I mean, yeah, you build your army around him, but holy shit.
it's a little fucked up. So $30 for you, and then we have to convert it to Canadian for me, and then you have to do shipping because there's no Games Workshops in Canada anymore. We used to back in the day. This is how I got into Warhammer as a kid. But there's no Games Workshops in Canada, and so shipping to Canada as well is a minimum of $20.
Right.
So you got to it becomes a sink, a cost sink.
The
There's a reason.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, centum per milli is how most websites do ad rev, and it's per 1,000 interactions with it, you get that amount. So I don't know what the centum per milli on Twitch is, but like YouTube, it'll be like $2 to $5 depending.
Yeah.
So once 1,000 people interact with it, they'll give you $2 to $5, and they don't like wait until you get to 1,000. They just give you whatever that divided by that, and that's how much you get. So yeah, that's like irrelevant to the conversation, but like just as someone was talking about it.
I don't know. That it's not relevant, but for somebody who's a small streamer like myself, it's a little relevant for myself. Just to learn about ad revenue and stuff.
Yeah, that's generally how it's done, especially with like YouTube. Does skipping ads not help rev? It doesn't change anything whatsoever. Yeah, I could check and see what my CPM on like YouTube is. It's different for each account that I have, because it's based on watch time and all that stuff. I'm going to give a range because I don't think I'm allowed to give a specific answer on the number. I'm going to turn this off.
Yeah, I would say give a range. Don't give specifics. I don't want anybody getting in trouble.
Yeah. Analytics. Let's see. Where did they hide this feature now? It used to be real easy to find this. Yeah, it's not giving me a CPM anymore. I don't know where. Learn more? No, that's not what I wanted to do. Due to the war with Ukraine. Okay. I think in is probably a more accurate word there, YouTube, but all right. I guess with is fine too, but whatever. I don't know where they've moved the CPM thing. They've hidden it somewhere now. Oh, maybe it's in here? Affiliate programs, super chats, short ad feeds. Okay, yeah, there it is. So it says revenue for every 1,000 views. And then I'm going to switch accounts and just like try and like estimate what the average is on all these. And like I said, some of these have better than others. After Hours has the best by far. By almost double in comparison to my highs channel, which is wild. But it's, you know, again, YouTube likes it when people watch for a long time. Let's say it's somewhere between $0 and $4.
All right.
Per 1,000 views. So if I have a video that has like 10,000 views, then I'm going to get $40 for it.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah. No, I don't.
It's not great, but it's not like it's not bad.
Yeah,
like,
I mean and the thing is, like with all of that on YouTube, it's about like quantity. You just want a lot of content out there, and then eventually you'll have a critical mass, and it just ends up paying some.
Yeah. So in a sense, it's kind of like Twitch too. When Twitch is like, "Oh yeah, we need you to get to the $50 threshold," or they'll hold if you don't make it to the $50 threshold, they'll just keep holding each month while you're affiliated till you get to the $50 threshold, and then they'll finally release the funds to you.
So this is a slightly different thing. This is like, here, let me pause this for a second. So this is like the difference between how much your paycheck is versus how much this is like how much do you get paid per hour.
Ah.
Like that's what the rate is that they're giving me. So it's like per 1,000 views I get paid that much. But like I think the minimum on YouTube is something like 100. Like you need to have made at least $100 before they'll pay out.
Yeah.
Now if you're with an MCN, they usually can like work out a contract where they can pay you even if it's less than that. But ideally you're not in a situation where you need that in the first place.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I'm like, this is all interesting to me because like I've been wanting to learn all this type of stuff myself because at some point I should probably start putting my Twitch streams up onto YouTube via a video or something. But at the same time, who really wants to watch art streams on YouTube?
I don't know. There are people.
It's a niche for
Can
everything.
you link your Ko-fi? Can someone do? Oh, I think that the link will pop up here in a minute from Moobot, and then I can link it. Is there a command for that? Exclamation point. Did I make one? Ko-fi.
It's either Ko-fi or
Hey, yeah,
maybe
all right.
Chill.
So it's this. Yeah, exactly. And so like generally speaking, I mean, if you have any questions about monetization stuff, I am happy to answer that because I've been doing this for like 10 years now. Like it's just sort of at the point where it's just sort of like, yeah, that's just how things work, you know? And I assume that everyone else knows that to some degree because I'm so like I know it so well. So I wouldn't even know where to begin to address like questions. So I know other people who want to do YouTube stuff are probably also interested in this. So like if you have questions, throw them at me. Always happy to answer.
Yeah. I had a question in my chat and I kind of wanted to bring it up. I have to scroll. I
Sure.
must scroll. Do commissions of characters you don't own be considered theft? So like if somebody commissions you to draw like a specific character, would that be considered theft? And that's actually a really good question because in a sense you're doing a commission of a character for somebody else. So like say I want Nami from One Piece, but I want her looking like this and in this pose and like whatever.
Right.
I would actually not consider that theft. And well, it is okay. That is theft, but because the person who's commissioning you to draw that character is probably not going to resell it, it's a very weird shade of gray where you aren't really in the wrong.
I don't do commissions because I hate people.
Yep.
So like, I hate interacting with commissions. A lot of it also has to do with like I feel like people are paying for a commission when all they really want is a free like signature, and like I don't think that that should cost money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's like I can't stop people from doing that, so I just don't do it.
Yeah. I have a problem for me because again, I'm a character artist. I should open commissions. I undersell myself as an artist.
Yes, that's
by
very
a lot.
common. Yeah.
I have a lot of artist friends who are like, if you do commissions, up your prices because your prices are very, very low for what you do. And I just feel like my arts, I have an emote. It's called the Frog of Negative Self-Talk. I get it whenever I bring up the thing like, oh, I don't think my art is good enough for said commissions. People usually tell me to frog myself.
Right. Okay, so I will
Because it's a little cute little frog that says like you are great, you are dandy.
Okay, let me put it to you this way. If they aren't willing to pay for it, like if it's not good value, then they just won't commission you. They'll go, that's too much. I won't do it.
Yeah.
So like take your friend's advice and set your prices higher because your art is good. And if people don't want to hi clown pubes, if people don't want to buy it at that level, then that's not the market price for you. Like,
yeah, exactly.
But a lot of artists will be like, oh, I don't want to charge living wage because that seems like a lot. And it's like, you're talking about a luxury good, you know, like it's okay.
Yeah. things back in the day, rich people would have like an artist living in their house to draw to paint for them like once every couple of years.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
once upon a time, artists used to actually live pretty okay lives, but nowadays it is more like yeah, it's a
So I don't,
man.
yeah, like I would just remember, like, if you overcharge,
Yep.
oh, thank you, Count Cannoli. Thank you for the Ko-fi money. It doesn't pop up for me in any way, shape, or form, so I don't know how much it was, but thank you so much. And then I've run out of battery. So I have to unhook myself to some degree. But yeah, yeah, just charge. You know, I did a video on how much to charge on work, and you know, commissions are slightly different, but it should be a decent enough guide to get you started in that direction. Just like how much is your time worth, and how much does your supply, how much are your supplies and all that. Like, and I know you don't really think about it when it's like a, you know, digital thing, but you are wearing down your Wacom to some degree.
Yeah.
So like,
Or you're wearing down your mental health. Because
yeah,
to be honest, digital art does get a little like it does get a little bit on you mentally.
sure.
So a lot of people don't seem to understand when it comes to like digital art. It actually does it does a lot to your mental health, and people should actively take breaks. I say that as I draw daily, and like my hobby is drawing, and I'd rather draw
Oh
than
yeah, no, I give
sometimes play
advice
a
all the
video
time
game.
that I just don't follow. Like, do as I say,
Yeah.
not as I do. Right. Yes. Okay. But like, yeah, I don't know. Can you tell your cats that I love them? Sure. Since you donated to my Ko-fi, I figure that's a decent enough thing. Count Cannoli loves you. All right, I need to go switch on my battery. I'll be back 5 seconds.
Yep, that's fine. Hello, chat. Hello, both chats. Man, how do I get a gig as a rich dude's paint goblin? Man, I want to be a rich man's paint goblin. I just want to like be in my like little hole, and then every once in a while, a guy will just be like, "Gigi, here's $100,000. Paint me something," and I'll be like, "Yes, sir."
Yeah, and then that's it. And then they leave you alone. Yeah.
And then they leave you the fuck alone.
Yeah.
Let me become a paint goblin. I was born for this job, please.
Yeah, and that gets into a whole other thing that like I have to be much more zooted to get into, but yeah, again, sorry chat for getting like weirdly political the other day when I was zooted and
You were
describing
fine, but
I
at the
was not
same
as
time,
zooted as I could have been. Like those didn't really kick in that hard. But like
no.
when it kicks in hard, like I'm gone. And I definitely do get more based the higher I get. But yeah, sorry about that and designing the nuclear reactor. That was weird. I don't actually know how to do that, so I'm not actually sure if like that works.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh. I thought that was so funny.
I looked it up afterwards and I got some of the names of the parts wrong, but like generally speaking, that's like more of a diagram of one, but it's close enough that it would work. Like you could do that.
Yeah.
Don't ask me to explain it to you right now. I'm too sober for that.
No, it was like where I'm again, I'm from Canada. I'm from Toronto. Where I'm from, it's legal. I've openly stated I disavow people doing, you know, a drug if it's not legal where you live. But there was one time I got really zooted myself, and I was watching Joel, and he started speaking Swedish, and I understood what he was saying.
Oh, that's fun.
I don't know Swedish for the life of me, so it was kind of funny.
But okay, yeah, just tell me more about like what are people doing on art Twitter? Because I don't even understand like what their mindset is, you know? Like What are the hot button topics? Because I'll see stuff that people are talking about, and I just don't feel like I have any place to talk about it because, like, you know, like I said, I do the YouTube remix method, and I'll go and check and see what people are talking about, and they'll be talking about something like, this nose shape like design where your nose has to be like even with your like it's a line, like that's racist or something. And I'm just like,
that was a
what the
that was
fuck
a
is
big thing for
happening
a
out there?
hot second. People don't know that people can be born with different facial structures. Yeah. Currently, some of the hot button issues with Twitter art. People trying to be like, yeah, somebody like Bacon Cat when it came to the face structure. It's people trying to be morally correct with the dumbest morals.
I mean,
A
Twitter,
lot of Twitter is a lot of like soapbox, like
performative stuff. Yes.
performative stuff, trying to be morally correct, but they again the dumbest morals. Uh, other
Okay.
other things that I've seen, there's a lot of people. I don't like talking about minors personally, but there's a lot of people hyping up. First, one, hyping up minors to draw not safe for work, and then reprimanding said minor for doing what they told them to do.
What? Like what? Like, is that the same group of people? Like the same person?
Yeah, it's like almost the same group of people. Like they realize there's a moral high ground, and then they get really, really like, oh no.
What the fuck?
Terminally online jackasses. Uh, thank you, Uncle Jerry's Crack Shack. That's such a good name.
That to me that feels like entrapment.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yes, that is exactly what it is.
Like, hey, do this thing. You evil little bitch! I can't believe you did that. Like what?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't talk to minors often either because I am 35 and they're just not people I hang out with. You know?
Yeah,
like there's a kid who plays Warhammer. I talked to him. He's like I think 12 or 13. And
yeah.
like he's just there playing Warhammer with us. So like, you know,
like that's fine in passing, but like again, I'm 28 and I'm just like whenever somebody comes into my chat and they talk about like, oh, I have my high school finals, I'm just like, please get out of my chat.
fair enough.
I don't want to know. I feel like I become uncomfortable when there are children, because like I don't want to interact with kids, personally, in my personal onion. It's not the same as everybody's onion, but it's mine. I just don't. And again, there's the whole children policing adult spaces within art. Especially like within the furry communities and like furry artists and stuff like that. There's a lot of weird policing that is a thing on Twitter.
Can you describe like that kind of interaction? Because I don't understand what you mean.
Okay. I'm gonna go with anime Twitter instead, like anime fan art Twitter instead of like furry Twitter, because furry Twitter gets kind of there's shades of gray. Because a lot of like furry artists they get into like kinks, hyper, macro.
Right, and that isn't something that children should be looking at. Agreed.
Yeah. When it comes to art Twitter, like anime art Twitter, right now the hot anime is Jujutsu Kaisen.
Right.
And people like to draw yaoi art of Gojo and Geto. They're two. One's a villain, one's a protagonist, and they like to draw shipping art of these two characters because they have like a backstory. They were friends in high school and stuff like that. And a lot of children who watch the show police these artists, being like, you guys shouldn't be portraying these characters like this because it makes me uncomfortable, because these characters
canonically hate each other.
It's sometimes like canonically hate each other, or like during the time for that anime, like some of the art, it might be of them when they're like just out of high school, And people are like, well, they're still in a sense young adults, and they shouldn't really be. There shouldn't be art of these characters like that. And it gets that type of policing on art Twitter, or there's people as well that state like oh, Digital Circus, Pomni, people child coded Pomni. And then Gooseworks had to come out and say, no, all my characters are over the ages of 20. Like, all my characters
Thank
are
God he said
adults.
over the age of 20 rather than 18. Like, I know it's exactly the same thing, but like, you know, like when someone goes, all my characters are over the age of 18, I get a little sketched out.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, yeah. But over 20 is a different, it's a completely different idea. Like, it doesn't, they're not explicitly over the age of 18. They're over the age of 20, which is beyond, like, yeah, it has stink lines attached to it, where it's like, yeah 200-year-old dragon kind of shit.
I think a lot of people now say their characters are over the age of 20 because there was that YouTube drama. I forget who was in the drama, but they were dating a 20-year-old child. Like, people started calling the girl this guy was dating a 20-year-old child. I think a YouTuber, I think Boogie is one of those people, and stuff like that. But like, that's why a lot of people are now saying, instead of like, oh, my character's
was that Danny
over the age
Sexbang?
of who?
Danny Sexbang from Game Grumps? Because I think
I
like
know
there
he
was some like
texting a person who was
Right.
under the age of 18, and then he stopped, and then when she turned 18, he started texting her again. I think that was the whole Danny situation.
Okay, that's different then.
But
That's got
it might have
different
been
vibes.
like, yeah, but like, yeah, that's why a lot of people state instead of like 18, because you know it's the quote unquote, it's the barely legal stance to my characters are over the age of 20. 20 just sounds a lot. They're a lot older.
It doesn't have distinct lines. Also, like, when you're 18, you're still a child. I'm sorry. Like,
yeah.
When you're 20, you're still a child. Sorry. Like,
Yeah.
there's the difference. First off, once you turn like 18, your mind does shift. Like, I think you are starting to be a different person at that point. But you don't really become an adult until like late 20s. Because early 20s, you're still like, oh, I'm going to go out and drink and be irresponsible with my life. And at some point, you're like, man, that sucked. I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, I gotta smarten the hell up. You get that moment of clarity. Or like, when I think I turned about, I was about 25, like 24, 25, where I realized, oh, my body feels like it's breaking down. I can't exactly be a kid anymore.
Sure, yeah.
Like, you just go through a moment where you realize you're not a kid, and some people just don't go through that, but usually you go through the moment of like, you're not a kid anymore. So that's the reason, like, I feel like that's another reason why, like, when, especially with Gooseworks and like Digital Circus, and when people started stating Pomni is child coded because she's short, she's petite, she doesn't really have any sort of like development in her chest. Gooseworks was like, no, all my characters are over 20. Some of, like, most of them are between the ages of like 25 to like 30 something. Some are even 40. They're all adults. Please don't call my characters child coded just because Pomni is short.
Yeah, and I know like some people have a real chip on their shoulder where it's like no tits equals child, and that like there are women that just don't have boobs, and that doesn't mean that they're children. Like, they shouldn't be infantilized either. But also, like, it does, like, there does make me go, you know, like, when I see someone like, and the character doesn't have boobs, and then they kind of, I don't know.
Well, there was that, and then there was I forget what anime it was, but the character had like, she was very petite and she had massive boobs, and they were like, this character, because she's petite, is a child, even though she's in college. She's a character in college. I don't remember like again, I watch a lot of anime, but I don't watch a lot of anime, especially when like the anime does nothing for me.
Sure.
I like watching specific animes, but like that was one of the big Twitter fights, and like Twitter artists were drawing this character, and people were like, "No, no, no, she's just a child with giant boob," and we're like, actually, the anime apparently she's in college, so she can't really be a kid."
Right, and she's not treated
So,
as some sort of like child genius where like
well,
that's
she's
the
the
reason that she's
she
in college.
apparently is the senpai in the anime, so she's older than the main character who's in college. So,
Do we know how
um,
old the main character is?
yeah. So it's like,
And the main character is at least 18.
yeah, the
So then
characters.
she's going to be more than 18 in order to be her sim. Okay.
Yeah, to be a senpai, you have to be older. Um, but yeah, no, I again, that was another like like those I would be like people who want to have a moral high ground, but they have really stupid morals.
Like
I feel like I might get lit on Twitter for saying that.
yeah, I wouldn't post that on Twitter.
No, I don't feel like posting that on Twitter today. No, not today. Don't want to start a fight.
No, you just don't say things like that on Twitter, even if you're right.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, there's been a few things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just regular Twitter, but with artists, is what you're telling me.
It's regular Twitter, but with artists. Everybody in my chat saying, "But you're right," and then one person's like, "But getting canceled is fun."
It's no. Because
No,
then people will be like, hey, guess what they did 35 years ago? And it's
I'm
like,
not 35. When I was in the womb.
yeah. Like, what do you want? I don't know. Purity culture is also a bit of a problem. Like, people people are shitty until they're not. We should allow people to improve. You know? That should actually be the goal, because I've said this before. There's only two ways of getting rid of a Nazi, and one's illegal, and the other one is that they have to like just decide to stop being a Nazi, right? Yeah, someone accused me of being. I remember someone emailed me, and they're like, "I'm gonna go public with this story about how like you did this stuff back in like 1990 to me and all that," and I'm like, "So I was 2 in 1990."
Yeah.
So like, whoever did that to you is not me. That sounds awful. Sorry that happened to you.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't respond to it because I'm just like, I don't want them to be able to edit this. I'm just gonna let them go away.
Yeah, exactly. Like I believe in second chances with most people. There are people who don't deserve second chances, or people who like.
I'm sorry, I have to go get the boy.
I hate
He's crying at the door.
Keemstar.
One sec.
Keemstar doesn't deserve a second chance.
Hello?
Like certain people,
Hello?
sure. Like if you were a kid in 2016, you said an edgy joke, but you're different now, you deserve a second chance. But like there are certain people that just don't deserve a second chance.
I gotta do some boy time real quick, because
Oh, that's understandable. I have a boy too that just came into my room.
hello, the boy. Let me get the face cam. Where is it? There we go. But yeah, I'm gonna tip the camera down so people can see the cat, because I had like I did most of my stuff with my shrink over the phone or over the internet, and I remember one time like I was like, okay, I'm not, because this right here is like a really weird movement, you know?
Yeah.
But so I was like, okay, I'm not being a weirdo. I have a cat. Because like, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little
A little sussy looking, so I'm like, okay, no, I do have a cat here, so we're good.
yeah.
I was just saying.
No, I have a golden retriever, so I have a big goofy dog.
Okay, are we done with boy time now? Okay, you can come in and out, but once you're out, okay? All right, I can go back to art now. See, there we go. Okay, so yeah. So in other words, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't care about any of that drama. Like,
Fine.
I wanted to
Unironically,
be.
you don't have to care about the drama. Twitter, unironically, sucks.
Yeah, like,
It's just it's the only place where I can like post most of my stuff
yep.
and
Yep. No, I'm not
people can
dogging
see
on you
it.
at all. I totally understand the gig. Like, that's what you got to do.
It's unfortunate that like
That's
Blue
the
Sky's
website.
slowly taking off, but like
Mhm.
it's a slow start. And there's like I have my Tumblr, but like I barely post on my Tumblr. And like there's certain avenues I can go through. The I really don't want to go back to DeviantArt, but like and Newgrounds kind of just hurts to look at. It's a good place for a portfolio, but it's not really a good place to like actually like get a following.
Mm.
And Twitter's like the only real place where I have a following, and so it's like, well, I'm like the scene from the Titanic of the band just
Yeah.
staying there as the fucking Titanic sinks. Like,
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Like, yeah, I stick with it for that reason as well. Yeah, I will be honest with you guys. You mentioned Keemstar, and then I had to go get the cat, but I
Yep.
stuck up for him. I'm like, okay, let's give this guy a shot. Like, maybe
I did too.
and that I had to apologize for it, and I honestly like felt so bad that I gave him that go. But like, I
gave
want
him the
people to like
benefit of
turn
the
things
doubt
around.
to get. Yeah, I'm like, I gave him the benefit of a doubt to get spat in the face, and I was like, we did it again.
I would, but you know, I'd rather be called naive than exclusionary. Like, if he gets it together, I will give him that chance. You know.
Yeah. Again, I've always believed in second chances. I get some, I will be very on my toes. I'll be weary for a little bit, but if it's almost like if you have a continual progression of good behavior.
And it's gonna be rocky, especially if you're going from that to better, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's not gonna be perfect. Because when you've inundated yourself with like shittiness for so long, you just don't, you know? Yeah, no, I'm sad that I went to bat for him and people saw that, is what I mean. Not that I went to bat for him, but that like I was wrong, you know?
Yeah, that's the
I
same
was
feel,
tricked.
like the same sentiment I felt, because I was like, maybe, just maybe, and then yeah. It was all japes. It was a funny little hoo-hoo for him, but
Yeah.
I just don't like being like pulled around when it comes to that type of stuff.
For sure, for sure. And yeah. Okay. It's looking less like crap. So that's good. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, Twitter occasionally, Reddit has Reddit moments as well, and it's kind of the same sort of thing where they'll like, I saw one the other day and it's like, Republicans are worse than ISIS and Hamas combined. I'm like, I mean, they're bad, but no. You know? Like,
yeah, I'm yeah, that's a
I don't really agree with that take. Like, that's very much a Reddit take. I'm like, I'm not a fan of Republicans, but like, I'll give them that. They're not as bad as Hamas. They're not as bad as ISIS. They're not as bad as Al Qaeda.
Yep.
I'll give them that. The bar is low.
I'll give them that as well. Like they're bad. They're not that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a head ass take. I'm gonna state that's a very head ass take.
For sure. But
Don't
okay.
mean to sound rude, but I'm going to sound rude for a hot second.
What they mean is Republicans affect me personally more than those guys. Yeah, exactly. And that's probably what they were thinking. Because in their own daily lives and the lives of people that they love, the people they interact with, they probably do more harm. Yeah. But
yeah.
The rest of the world fucking exists, so that's a thing. Okay. So that's the kind of stuff they're talking about on Twitter. Okay, so I'm not missing anything. So that's fine.
No, you're not missing much. It's like YouTube drama, but with art.
Okay.
And there's more children involved.
Yeah, I don't I don't have that thing where it's like if someone goes, I'm graduating high school, I don't tell them to leave because like I honestly think I'm probably boring for children. Um like I don't think that my content is good for children. I don't think they would enjoy it, you know? I
Yeah.
think I'm kind of dry, and for a lot of children that's just boring as hell. So like it's like this is sort of an this is a child who like I don't know is acting a bit more adult.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I usually don't. With me with minors, my stance on minors is like I say I swear like a trucker.
Mhm.
I blame that on my parents.
Sure.
But we sometimes bring up like specific like topics I would rather a child not be there to listen to. Like we don't explicitly get into like anything like super explicit, but like there's certain topics I'm just like I don't really feel like a kid should be here?
That's kind of what I was
Question
thinking
mark?
about when I was saying that. I'm like, hold up though. Like, like that feels bad. Like that's a weird vibe where it's like, yeah, no children can hang around for this conversation. Anyway, sex.
Yeah.
It's like that's weird.
Anyways, somebody comes in, just starts saying "come" a lot.
Yeah, like clown pubes. Like I don't mind clown pubes being here, but that may
Yeah,
not be appropriate content for children. It does have that thing where you have to be 18 in order to come in, right? Like that's
yeah,
so like I expect that people are looking at that and then I don't know, maybe parents are involved.
yeah. Or like they're at least agreeing that they're 18, and it's really not on. It's not on you as the streamer, to stop a minor from what they're watching. It's
Yeah.
really up to the kid who goes in and clicks that they're 18 and lies on the internet. People lie on the internet.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
it's news to me.
And that's the other thing is like they could just fucking lie, you know?
Yeah.
So like I don't know.
Oh, people are telling me to remind me to tell you ask you about the Alan Wake musical number from the Game Award.
I didn't watch the Game Awards at all.
Okay.
I
They
just tweeted I can't believe it won just to see what people would say. Oh, what are you upset about? And it's like I literally don't know. I just thought it would be funny to tweet that and see what people were saying in relation.
so based. Holy shit. I can't believe it won. What did? I don't know.
Yeah, but I can't believe it won. So like I guess I need to look at some point like what actually did win. But
All I can tell you is Alan Wake had a musical number, and the actor for Alan Wake was in the musical number.
okay. Um do people like Alan Wake?
I don't know. It actually won some awards. Actually, a lot of awards. That and Baldur's Gate 3.
I will give that to Baldur's
Um,
Gate. I'm happy that that won.
yeah, I'm happy that one too. Like unironically, I was really excited when so it won Game of the Year. Baldur's Gate.
Okay.
Just spoiler alert.
Scared me for a second. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I haven't played Alan Wake 2, but like I have played the other ones, so I don't have high hopes. Um, and I thought you were saying that Alan Wake won, and I would have been like, "What the fuck?
No,
This
no,
shit's fake."
Yeah, yeah. So Alan Wake won Game of the Year. I can't believe it won. That like
Iron Mouse.
would make a lot more sense.
The only one I've seen is Iron Mouse won content creator or whatever of the year, and I'm
Yes,
like, okay, yeah, fair enough. Not my cup of tea, but I'm okay with this.
exactly. Yeah, Baldur's Gate won for Game of the Year. And Pikmin one of my chatters is saying Pikmin won everything. Pikmin won for I forget what game it was, but Pikmin 4 actually won an award, which was really nice. Um and everybody got really excited and clapped. So
Was it good?
uh
I didn't. Best
uh
strategy slash sim.
oh,
Okay.
okay, sim strategy. Okay, good.
That
I actually have not touched Pikmin 4 yet. Pikmin 4. Pikmin was never really my game.
Right.
That's I have my partner. He's more the Pikmin fan. So he was the one that played Pikmin 4. He enjoyed it. So
I mean, that's cool.
I was the one who was like, I'm upset that Harvest Moon or Soria Seasons wasn't in anything for like the Game Awards. So that's my game of the year. Thank you. I like farming simulators and stuff that makes me happy.
Fair.
But yeah, Baldur's Gate 1 game of the year, and apparently Spider-Man 2 won nothing. And people were upset that Pizza Tower didn't win for best debut indie game.
What did?
So there's your Game Awards update question mark.
I mean, I don't get to find out the information immediately, but also I don't have to sit through the cringy like dance numbers. So
Yeah, you don't have to watch the Alan Wake musical number.
Like Alan Wake feels like camp that no one is acknowledging as camp.
It's camp that takes itself way too seriously.
Right. Like that's where I'm like, I don't get it. Dave the Diver was pulled from the indie category for why?
It was pulled for debut, right? I forget which there were two indie categories. There was best debut, which a game called Cocoon won.
I've never heard of it.
Limes played it. I watched her playthrough. It was very cute.
Okay.
But funny enough, the developers who made Cocoon, that's their like third game. So it's not a debut if they already had two games. So I was really, really confused. Mike also played it. Okay, Mike played it as well.
Okay.
But yeah, it was in the debut indies. It was Dave the Diver was supposed to be in it, but it got pulled. I don't know why. And there was Pizza Tower and another I forget the other one, and then there was like Vernba, which was a Cooking Mama like video game. Yeah, a Cooking Mama like with like a lot of heart and a really cute side story of being like a second generation person who just came, like family just came to like Canada. Sure. And are learning how to cook their family's like meals.
Yeah, that's neat.
Like ethnic
like
food and stuff like that.
That's
It was kind of cute. A lot of it had a little to the left type of like feelings to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Indian Canadian immigrants. Yeah, and it was super cute. I
mean that seems just like a neat story that needs to be told. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when like apparently the developers were from an area I'm close to in Toronto called Scarborough. So I'm like, oh, I know that place. Points. I know where that is.
Okay.
But yeah, Pizza Tower lost to Cocoon. Which was
that's weird. I didn't play it because it's not my style of game, but like it seemed very well polished for a game that was made by, a small studio, and it was their first thing.
Well, apparently, like people started looking into it, and apparently it's their third game. They did like two little tiny games before that. It might be their first debut, like massive game, quote unquote.
Okay.
But I'm like, if you've already, I had to sit down and go, if you've already made two games, wouldn't this game not be their debut?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Like the first one that anyone gave a shit about. Most Game Awards are rigged. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, ignoring that fact for a minute because otherwise this conversation's pointless. That was dumb that they didn't win.
Yeah.
Like.
Another thing, Hideo Kojima came out on stage with a penis light. He had like a light that was near his crotch.
And it was like apparently it was the same doorway from PT.
PT.
Yeah, which is like Kojima.
He's doing a horror video game movie with Jordan Peele called OD. PTOD. We're getting close. But it was the door from PT, which got people really excited that this might actually be the PT game that like they wanted, but at the same time I'm like, let's sit on it for a second.
Yeah, I mean it's also Kojima, so like, you know, rein in your expectations.
Kojima would never hurt you as you sit through a hour-and-a-half long cutscene at the end of Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yeah. So before we play this game, let me explain the entire history of the Cold War to you. Like, Kojima, why?
Death Stranding. I played Death Stranding. I love Death Stranding. But the last moments of the game is like a 3-hour long movie interlaced with like small segments of gameplay.
Neat.
And that's the end of Death Stranding. I'm not going to spoil any of the story, but the ending of Death Stranding is 3 hours long.
Right.
People complained about the ending of Metal Gear Solid 4, and Kojima said, "Wait, I can do it better. Like I can do it longer."
All right.
Yeah, Kojima became a huge Peele fan when he started making horror movies. Jordan Peele is very good at horror movies.
I've only seen a little bit of his stuff, and from what I've seen, he's done a very good job. I'm not like into movies at all. Like they take up too much time for my ADD addled brain. I can't sit like that.
Yeah. Actually, same. That's the reason. Like, when it comes to like animes, I can't do like weekly anime watching. I have to watch anime like once it's fully out and just binge it all within a day.
For sure. I understand that.
That's not good for me, but
well, whatever.
When it comes to movies, I just like if it's on like Netflix or a streaming service of some way, shape, or form. If I can pause it, however I need to pause it to keep like watching. That's how I usually watch movies.
Mm-hmm.
It kills the pacing, but it gets the job done.
Sure.
But I'm not really a movie watcher myself anymore. I feel like I've gotten a lot of burnout, especially from superhero movies. Those burnt me out real fast on any sort of movie experience.
Yeah, no, I've talked about on stream about like me and my friends sat down and watched like all of the ones that were out at that point in order, and we stopped right around like Winter Soldier because we were just like, fuck this, man. Like,
yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, I feel like superheroes really burnt me out on like any sort of movie experience or like theater experience. Like I can't fault the movie itself. It just everything just burnt me out. And the last movie I actually like went to theaters for was actually a couple days ago. I went to go see Godzilla -1 because I enjoy Godzilla movies. But like other than that, I don't think I've been to a movie theater in months. Or like watched a movie in months. That isn't like something I've already watched.
I think the last movie I went to was either Frozen or one of the new Star Wars. Like I just don't do that. And we've got Alamo Drafthouse here, so there's like no reason not to. But
yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard great things about the Alamo Drafthouse.
It's great. I mean, you get food, and then they have like it's like a mint chocolate shake that's alcoholic. It's very tasty, but like you shotgun it because it's so good, and then you're like, oh fuck.
It's like shoju. It just slowly creeps up on you.
Oh, Detective Pikachu. That was the last one we watched. Thank you.
Wow. Okay. So what did Detective Pikachu? I just need to. That was
pre-COVID. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, pre-COVID. That was 2019. My last movie, I think, was either Sonic the Hedgehog or like Frozen 2. My friends and I, we went very, very out of it to Frozen 2 and had a great time. It was just a bunch of adults just out of their minds watching Frozen.
That sounds
It
great.
was bad. And then I think my first movie coming back to theaters when like COVID was
Chilled a
COVID
bit.
was calming down. I was still masked up and everything. Was Sonic 2.
Mhm.
Just that's so stupid. I ended with Sonic. I started with Sonic. But like I don't watch movies much anymore. I don't feel the need to watch movies anymore.
Yeah, I'm kind of more into like podcasts or like whatever Fred does, those kind of documentaries.
Yeah,
Um,
long form documentaries
yeah,
are
I want a
more
video that I
my
don't have to like touch. Like just like
yeah.
tell me things.
Yeah, good background noise.
Mhm.
Uh, as a person who used like I I used to watch a lot of Fred. Unfortunately, my dog is weirdly Pavloved into thinking Fred is part of the family.
Okay,
When I have like Fred's streams on in the background, my dog will get very excited and come into my room to listen to Fred talk.
that's amazing.
Um, he's not golden retrievers. Yeah, they're very special boys. Uh,
They're full of love. Not
yeah,
always the smart, but full of the love.
full of the love. Um, but Fred loves that my dog Parker just adores his voice.
Yeah, I would.
Um,
Holy shit, that's amazing.
yeah. And I used to watch I watch a lot of Fred content. I used to watch Fred back when he had about 5,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Oh
So
wow.
I've been I'm old. Like 2016-ish? He only had like 3 or 4 videos at the time on his YouTube.
That's
Um
wild.
yeah, I'm weirdly enough,
OG.
I'm very old when it comes to internet stuff, but I'm very new when it comes to streaming. Like I didn't really care about streaming until 2020.
Mhm.
I think because of COVID, and like that's how like I started watching. I found Mike, and then I found you, and then I found out Fred started streaming on Twitch, like things like that, and I was just like, oh shit.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, I don't know, like, so one thing that I found out a little while ago, as far as like content creation stuff goes, is, um, you could have a like, I know you don't see any value of having like a like backlog of your content on YouTube or whatever, but like maybe someone else does.
Yeah,
So like you're denying those people that ability to look at that. And once I got that into my head, I was like, oh, okay, then I'll put it out there, and if it happens, it happens on stuff, you know? Um like
that's actually a smart way to think, man.
so
It's
like
actually a really smart way of thinking about that, because
so what
yeah,
I'd recommend is like I've been doing Restream, which is free. You can use up to
yep,
2 channels through Restream. So you could just restream this to YouTube onto that channel where you've got, like I'm doing right now, and then
yep,
like it does all the work for you. And like, yeah, you probably want to go through and do some SEO stuff and all that, but like it's done. Like you don't
yeah,
really have to do much work there, and people will enjoy the fact that you've done that for them. So like, I don't know. Let them
yeah.
decide. Again, let them decide if they want things or not.
Yeah, no, that's actually really smart, and I should probably take that to heart. And at the same time, my brain's just going to be like, "Don't do it." Uh,
The worst thing that happens is you try it and then no one gives a shit and you've done almost nothing.
yeah, it's the same thought with me when I started streaming. I was like, I'm going to jump in head first. If nobody wants to watch my streams, cool. But at least I'm screaming into the void.
Yeah.
I find I like drawing when I'm around people, or like at least talking. I talk a lot. I talk a lot to myself. I think that's you know, the ADHD. Could be as well. I'm on the spectrum. I am autistic, and so it's like I like talking to myself. So just doing the streams, talking and like screaming into the void, and maybe the void screams back. It's a nice feeling, and this helped me as well with getting my sleep schedule into some form of an order, because I have almost like crippling insomnia.
Mm-hmm.
So starting at like 11 o'clock EST and just streaming till usually when you or Fred or somebody else goes live, and I just like you, because again the Venn diagram turns into a circle. I could just throw
Right.
everybody to you or Fred or somebody else. It's just it's easy on me.
Right.
So
Oh, I haven't had a chance to say this directly to your chat, but I'll say this now. If anyone goes, oh, hey, Rev streaming, I'm going to go watch him instead in Gigi's chat. If I find out about it, I'm going to ban you. Like, don't do that to people.
yeah, I've brought that up to my chat a while back.
Well, now it's my voice saying it too. So now people know for surezies that, like, yeah, no, don't do that shit. Because that's like, I hate it when people do that to me, you know? So
I've had it happen a few times, but I think people like, I'd like to say it was like one of those like not really a well-intentioned, but it was more or less like,
I don't think people mean harm by it, but it is harmful.
yeah, it does it does a lot to your mental health. It just makes you think that you're not good enough, and
Yeah.
then like you're just like beating yourself up for the rest of the day. Like why did they leave?
Yeah.
Why are this person better than me? Type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're streaming on both channels. Like she's doing her thing and I'm doing my thing. So yeah, like you can watch both.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of co-streaming with a lot of people lately. Having them do art on their channel and I do art on my channel,
Mm-hmm.
or I've been bringing people onto my channel to do art with me, and this weird amalgamation of like one art stream is happening on the one corner of my stream, and then I'm doing like the main piece on mine. That's actually been a lot of fun. People seem to like that as well.
That seems like it's kind of something I want to try. I mean, that's why I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know how to, oh, right. I need to switch back to camera view because I thought I was done, but like, I'm not. Like, I just need to do a little bit of detail work because some of this is a little
it's unironically, it's been so much fun just vibing with other artists, listening to other artists, just talking. Like
yeah,
I've hung out with a bunch of like last weekend I hung out with a pixel artist named the Blind Archer, and just learning about how like he does the process of pixel art and stuff like that. It was just a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
So it's
something I
like
would love to learn about as
I've been
well.
wanting to like I wanted to like I want to talk to you because I know you're more of a traditional media, and then like mine is more like I went from traditional to character art, and I'm more of a character artist now. I just find it so much fun just to like bounce off of people, listening to their stories and stuff like that.
Sure. And yeah, I mean, I don't do digital art as much just because I find Control Z to be like detrimental to my mental health.
Yep.
That I can just undo it. Then like I will never move forward. I have to like I would prefer to redraw it than have the Control Z.
Yeah.
Like that's
Or
me though.
the undo button.
Yeah, like that. The undo button is actually like really bad for my mental health when it comes to art.
Yeah.
Because like I could just roll with the punch, and so I kind of like traditional art for that. But there's times that like digital art just makes more sense. Like
Yeah.
anytime I'm doing emotes or something, I'm not going to draw it out by hand first and then.
Yeah, no, when it comes to like I try my best. I have a sketchbook. I do sketching. Like if I'm not near my computer, I just sketch. So I'm like, I don't want to lose the ability of traditional art. Because yes, I would say digital art. It's a little bit of a crutch.
Oh, I don't
You
think
get
it's a crutch at all. I think it's just like it's a different vibe. Like it's a different tool. It's like pencil versus paint, or you know, ink versus watercolor. It's just like a different tool, and so it has different advantages and disadvantages. I don't think that it's a crutch at all. but there are bits of it that make it easier, and that's like, I don't know. It screws with my brain too much. But I'm not
Yeah.
gonna look down on digital artists. We're not going back to like what 2000s DeviantArt where digital art isn't real art. Like we're not doing that.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that. Um,
Is that
like,
conversation still happening? Are we still doing that?
what, digital art's not real art?
Yeah.
Some of like the tech, or not even the tech bros. Some of like those like, manosphere bros do like the nobody does like ancient Egyptian or ancient Roman sculptures anymore. Everybody does digital art, and I'm just like, yeah, do you want to pay me a couple $100,000? I'll make you a marble statue if you want, but you got to pay me.
Yeah. It's also
Like
just like
that's like the type of thing.
okay.
But
I
like,
mean that's not real. But
yeah,
yes.
that's not real. That's just people trying to drum up drama for drumming up drama.
Well, you get paid for clicks
Um,
on Twitter, so
but like
having an
some people do
irrationally
see,
stupid take is very helpful.
yeah, some people do see digital art as like you are using a crutch. In a way for like art as a medium, and a lot of people have openly stated digital art you lose the ability of traditional. um like I can understand, like I would be nowhere without the zoom function. My eyesight's starting to go, even with glasses. I have problems. I squint a lot when I'm doing traditional art because I can't get those fine details anymore. But like with digital art, I have the zoom function, and that's a lot easier for me.
Mhm.
So it's like there's some things that digital art does that like traditional just can't do. But at the same time, I don't feel like
Yeah,
I
again, it's like, it's different to use whatever. Like when you use a tool, it has advantages and disadvantages. I don't see that as a lesser or greater than. Like
yeah, exactly.
like yeah, there are bits of it that seem like a crutch, but also like there are bits of traditional that are a bit of a crutch. Like I can, like if I wanted to trace, I could do that very easily,
Yeah.
it's a lot easier to, just like put a piece of paper down and trace over it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a lot easier to do collages with, traditional over digital. Um, sort of. I don't know. There's different advantages to the digital over traditional, and vice versa. So
Yeah.
I'm not on that train at all. Of like, it's just a different skill set and one that I don't really have or intend on getting. And that doesn't mean that it's lesser than. It just means that that's
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
But yeah, there I it's still like maybe it's because like I'm still quote unquote new to digital art.
Mhm.
I still sometimes see people saying like, "Oh, you shouldn't use digital art as a crutch." And I'm just like, as a person who's been doing traditional art for over 20 years of my life, and I've only really been doing digital art for 3 of the 28 years I've been alive. Um I don't know. I
I
can
w-
I,
yeah. No. Like you've done your time, Like you learn the
yeah,
skills, and like that's what I'm always about is like learning skill sets over, anything else. Cuz then if you go, "Hey, I hate this." Like you can switch it, you know?
exactly.
Yeah, this one did come out actually like good. It started off real rough and kind of shit. Um, but it's coming together now.
Yeah, no, I like I like the Blue Jay. It's very, very cute.
Thank you.
In my opinion, I think it's very cute. Uh,
Thank you.
and I'm slowly getting my little vignette. I don't know, comic vignette. I want to get into comic drawing, but at the same time, I feel like my my body just maybe it's my ADHD. Something about my body is just like I really don't want to do that, but I want to at some point get into like comic books. Um I just
Yeah.
I guess need to find my pace when it comes to that type of stuff.
You ever think about
Um
doing like Yeah, I definitely get very quiet when I step away from the mic. That's kind of a thing about it. I think it's done. Oh, I need to do the bit where it just like pointed at it for a minute. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Done. Bop, bop. Where's the cap for it? But yeah, what about doing just like real quick things where it's just like reoccurring characters that are put into situations rather than like almost like sketch comedy, but like sketch slice of life or something instead of doing I didn't put my signature on either of these. Whoops.
Well, I'm doing with my characters. I do have reoccurring. So, most of my characters have names. I have a bunch of like OCs that people can like. Oh, it's
Sure.
Gigi. I know their character blank. I know their character blank. I do a lot of that type of stuff too.
Right.
Oh, and most of these little like 3-panel things are usually slice of life little doohickeys because my whole thing is my one character uh loves his wife, so I want to draw romance.
Sure.
But yeah, I do my best to like try to mitigate, but people are like, "Oh, but we want to know about the lore." And there is lore. It's just I don't know how to really put the lore out there. And I'm like, maybe I should just write it. I'm not a good writer. I was never born to be a writer. But I was like, maybe I should just write it and draw illustrations. Maybe I should do a comic. Maybe I should do this. But at some point I need to jump in head first, like how I did with like Twitch streaming. Stop thinking 10 steps ahead and just step.
Yeah, I mean, like you can always go back and fix old things. Like I don't know, Andrew Hussey just kind of like raw dogged Homestuck and Problem Sleuth. So like
Yeah.
I don't know, like it got better as he went on, like the style got better. So like you could just like accept that you're gonna get better and not worry about like getting it perfect right off the bat. Because you're ideally always getting better. So if you're waiting until you're good, you'll never be that because there's a better version of you waiting to happen at some point.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, that's another thing in like mindset type of thing, but like the brain goblins sometimes win, and I would need to beat the shit out of the brain goblin first.
Right, yeah, no, I mean, like a lot of what I'm saying is like easier said than done. Like and I can just say those things because it's so easy to just say things. What is this? So there is a new Warhammer game out. It came out today, and it's Rogue Trader. I don't know. I mean, so it's Owlcat. What else did Owlcat do? Why do I know that? Pathfinder, I guess.
Yeah.
And it kind of looks like a Baldur's Gate sort of thing, where it's like an isometric turn-based thing with a squad of guys.
Yeah, the thing for Rogue Trader was the Warhammer trailer from last Game Awards,
right?
With Space Marines 2.
Yeah, and now it's like out. I mean, it looks neat. I don't know as if people would care, so I think I might skip it, but it looks good. Like
yeah, I think people are more excited for Space Marines 2.
Yeah, and that has a launch date now, so okay. Well, I need to hit up the bathroom real quick, and then I might have to figure out something else to stream because I finished my painting. But I'll be right back.
Understandable. Yep.
1 sec.
Again. Hello, Rev Chat. Hello, my chat. JD, what's your weapon for killing the mind goblins? I like to beat the shit out of them with my bare hands, but they're actually hands with like bears at the end of them. You know, bare hands. Hey, Orthogonal welcome. Hello. Gigi, babysitting. Gigi, jingle the keys. Do I have my keys around here? I hit my head. Wait, I got my keys. Do you guys want me to jingle the keys? And Where's the dog? Yo, you got keys. Um, the Alex Goblin wants everything to be simple, bad, and self-indulgent. Frick the John's mind goblins. we got the jingling keys. I could try and call the boy. I don't know. Hi guys. This has been a lot of fun. I know I'm very nervous, and I'm sorry about being extremely nervous. I just, I'm just I'm itty bitty. I'm just baby. I baby. Oh god, more people in the secret rodent club. Anonymous gifter, thank you so much for the 7 tier 1 subs to the community. I am not going to name everybody out, but like welcome back to the secret rodent club. My whole thing's about rodents. Because again, I'm a chinchilla on the internet. We love keys. I don't know if you saw it, Gigi. But I generally think it's important to note that because light is additive and pigment is subtractive, digital and traditional are fundamentally different skills. Not that
crap.
one or the other is easier. No, you're right. No, you're right.
What?
They're not.
Oh, that would be wonderful,
Again, not.
Thank you.
Gigi has a persona. Yeah, my PNG tuber is my persona. They're a mosaic chinchilla named Oxnard. You guys want to see my persona? I got a persona. Unfortunate, I know.
Okay. Now I'm back, and I can put these
Rev is back.
these two fellas here. Yeah, those look all right.
Yeah.
I kind of made the exact same tree branch both times, but whatever. That one I kind of just like, with tree branches, like, especially if it's just like the stem of it, like I'll just freehand that. I don't need to look at a reference anymore for trees.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, I don't know, they just kind of look the way they do. Yeah, I mean, the new Rogue Trader game looks all right. I might look at the Sigmar thing.
Yeah.
Depending.
Which one's the Sigmar game?
Let's see. Come on, Bubby. Thank you, my love. Come on, good boy. He's a good boy. Thank you. Age of Sigmar, Realms of Ruin. It's the Dawn of War like with essentially like what they're calling fantasy now. Oh fuck, does the new Rogue Trader has word bearers in it though? I mean, they're just one enemy amongst a bunch. Looks like there's Dark Eldar, word bearers, and then some demons. Okay.
Like I'm getting back into Warhammer. I think it's because mostly like you and Fred talk about Warhammer a lot.
Sorry.
And I'm just like
I honestly just play it on TTS because then you don't have to worry about whether or not there's a nearby community or whatever. And it's a lot less expensive to play on TTS.
Yeah.
And there are communities to do that. Any Duendes? I mean, there's Warhammer does Duendes sometimes. There's not gnomes, but there's little other fellas.
Yeah, there's like with fantasy, there's like Skaven. You could be a little rat fella. You want to be a little rodent, little dude.
That's an option. You could do. I'm interested in Rogue Trader, but the notification is. But not if it's going to be more of a hero RPG like Baldur's Gate. Based on what it looks like, that's my guess. It says it's similar to Disco Asylum and Legend or Lies of P, which you could not have picked two games that are less like each other. So I don't know.
Got Dark Souls, but
puppets and yeah, like that. It's not being compared to. I mean, that's Steam's thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why it thinks it's similar to Disco Asylum either. I think just because isometric, that might be the word that it's looking for. And
maybe.
Colorful, which is okay.
I wouldn't really call Disco Elysium all that colorful. It's pretty muted. The cast is colorful. There's a cast of colorful characters.
Bounty board. Oh, they took something off literally as I was looking at the bounty board. That's wild. Yeah, I might wait on Sigmar and we might do something else like backpack battles or something. Or maybe some World of Horror. I don't know. I'll figure something out. But I think that's where I'm going to stop on art. So I think I'll have to let you go if that's all right. But this was fun.
Oh, this was great.
We can
Thank
totally
you so
do
much
this
for
again.
having me.
Yeah, and thank
Yeah.
you. And then again, for everyone else, who are you and where can they find you?
Hi, my name is Gigi Mars. Gigi Marvels on Twitter, Gigi Mars on Twitch. I am a chinchilla on the internet. You can find me again on Twitter, Gigi Marvels, Twitch, Gigi Mars, Blue Sky, Gigi Mars, and I do art. Sometimes video games, but mostly art. This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for having me, Rev.
No worries, and thank you. It was a lot easier than trying to figure out what to talk about while doing art. Is just bounce things off of you. So thank you for that.
I do feel like we did go a little all over the place, and I'm sorry about that.
Oh no, it's whatever. No, I think that's what I was kind of expecting because like I can't hold a rational concept of conversation, so it's fine. No worries.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. Well, I'm gonna go. Thank you. All right.
Yeah, thank you as well.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right. And then that was cool. I liked that. We should do more stuff like that. I think I might do some backpack battles just to like do video games. And then we'll figure out a different video game to play from there. I don't know what video game to play. That's kind of where I'm at. Is I kind of want to play a video game now. But apparently there's a new... Yeah, she did a great job as far as being her half of the collab. I don't know if I did, but we were able to keep a conversation going. So I'm pretty chuffed about that. But yeah, so I mean, like, I feel like I've done a lot of RoboQuest. I want to see if they actually like recognize that I did the second stream of RoboQuest. So if they didn't, then I'm gonna... Yeah, they still haven't. I have until like the 10th. View details. Huh. Yeah, I need to send that letter here in a minute, but I'm not going to do that while I'm streaming. I like the new stuff in Dark Tide, but I don't feel like that's enough to like really stream, and I don't think that people really particularly like watching it. So maybe something else. We could do out of schedule confessions. I might wait a bit on that. Do some other stuff first. Not out yet, but kitty game. All right. Little Kitty Big City. Oh, I've seen this. It looks very good. I think I saw someone do like a let's play of it, but I'm not sure. Yeah, all right. So why don't I do backpack battles for a minute? See if there's anything there that's new and interesting. And then we can go from there. Battles. Do. All right. People on After Hours, let me know when this is when you hear me. Ready or Not, I liked, but I kind of got an icky feel playing it, and I can't quite